U.S. intelligence agencies have issued a stern warning to Americans. Do not buy smartphones made by Chinese tech companies Huawei or ZTE.
Yeah, top officials from the CIA, NSA, FBI, and defense intelligence agencies testified in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee on Tuesday that the Chinese smartphone makers posed a security threat to American customers. In Good Health tonight, a new study gets a thumbs up and a smiley face. It finds that emojis could lead to better care for cancer patients. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic looked at how effectively doctors could track their patients' progress using a mobile app. Patients rated how they were feeling using a scale of 5 common emojis. The simple system helped improve communication regardless of language, education, or financial status. It's a video that's going viral for all the right reasons.
Take a look as a lung transplant recipient takes her first breath with her new lungs.
Breathing. That's breathing.
That's breathing. That's right. Jennifer Jones was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis 11 years ago. Her lung function decreased to just 10% until she received a double lung transplant in October. Jennifer says she would be alive without her donor and their family, and their gift of life is her miracle.
Boy, that's incredible to see a face like that.
Local 4 News at 6 is straight ahead.
Here comes Devin with what's coming up.
It's a great video, isn't it? We're on stories coming up from Pontiac, Oxford, and Westland, and here's Larry.
A scary situation for one local family. A guy walks inside this door into their home.
Once he closed our inside door that leads into our hallway, he just took a couple of steps, closed the door behind him.
Now police are looking for clues to find out who that person is.
We're live tonight at 6 o'clock in Centerline. A husband and wife from right here in Metro Detroit, Centerline and Roseville. They're a couple of teachers teaching at that school in Florida that came under attack. Tonight here at home, we're hearing from family members about the heroics these teachers used to keep their students safe while they were under attack.
Going on live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Neighbors on edge in Macomb County after a series of break-ins, one of them while a mother and her son were home.
Good news and bad news about this year's flu shot. It's beating expectations, but that's not saying much.
And a hero emerges from the tragedy in Florida, and he's from Roseville. Good to have you with us at 6. We're going to begin with the new developments emerging from Parkland, Florida.
The sheriff's office just revealing the shooter fired into 5 classrooms before dropping the rifle. The gunman got away by blending in with students who were running out of the school in fear. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz is charged with 17 counts of murder. The Broward County Sheriff's Office says he has confessed to carrying out the shooting rampage. He also admitted to hiding extra ammunition in his backpack. We're hearing from students and teachers and what they had to do to survive amid the chaos.
We all started going down the back staircase down to the 2nd floor. Once we reach there, all you hear is just these loud, like, pop, 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 like at least 3. So I was about to grab the door. I turned around. We all started running, and as soon as we were all on our way up to the 3rd floor, you just hear the guy just open the back staircase door where we were and just started shooting, like screaming.
And what was most frightening for me was watching these kids, you know, texting their parents, telling their parents that they love them.
Our administration is working closely with local authorities to investigate the shooting and learn everything we can. We are committed to working with state and local leaders to help secure our schools and tackle the difficult issue of mental health.
Now, a teacher who grew up in Metro Detroit is being hailed a hero for what he did to protect students at Stoneman Douglas High School.
Ernie Rospierski hails from Roseville. He and his wife both maintain close ties to our area. Sean Lay had a chance to speak with Ernie's father-in-law, and Sean, he must have been awfully worried as he was hearing this news break out.
Oh, absolutely. And what he learned throughout the afternoon and evening then from Ernie Rospierski and his wife, Andrea, absolutely remarkable. Look, these two from Roseville and from Centerline both went here to St. Clement's here, right here in Centerline, both teaching at that school down in Florida. Then the shooting broke out. Family members back here in Centerline started getting some text messages and some calls that both were fine, but Ernie was injured in the shooting. Then they started realizing that Ernie was a hero from the shooting.
But that kid was coming down the hall and saw him, so he shot at him. He had already killed 2 people, I guess.
In Centerline today, Lee Porter says his son-in-law Ernie Rospierski is a hero. His stepdaughter Andrea is married to Ernie. She is from Centerline. He is from Roseville. Both teach at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Yesterday, when Ernie heard shots, he got his class to hunker down. Then he turned and faced that gunman and was grazed by a bullet.
So Ernie ran up to the 2nd floor, got what kids he saw, got them safe and locked in rooms and stuff, and then he hid in the bathroom. And then when he finally heard there's no noise and nothing, you know, he felt safe, he opened the door and there was a policeman standing right there. And he says, "What are you doing here?"
Porter says Ernie told him police didn't know who was a threat and who wasn't during the chaos.
Because when Ernie come out, he had like 20 guns on him.
Yesterday, the couple posting Facebook messages to let loved ones back here at home know they were okay.
He just said that we're okay, we're doing okay. They're just processing everything, you know, in their head, you know.
Back here live, family members from this area now down with the couple in Florida, visiting with them as they continue to process everything they saw, including victims in the hallways. These 2 teachers did not lose any of their particular students they have everyday interaction with. However, Ernie realized, and he told family members here, that the shooter was in one of his classes a few years back. The only thing he told family members is that he had some discipline issues. Live in Centerline tonight, Sean Lay, Local 4.
Yeah. All right, Sean. And we have seen so many powerful images of the pain and grief that people are going through in Florida.
Yeah, and as always, though, we try to shield them from the worst of it. Children are indeed paying attention. They have a lot of questions about who could have done this and about their own safety.
So how much is too much to discuss with your kids? Paula Tutman went to the experts for some answers.
For years, we have used First Family Counseling in Bingham Farms as our go-to experts when it comes to talking to children about difficult topics. But I got to tell you today, even our expert has second thoughts. Cynthia Reynolds is a clinical social worker and therapist who's actually re-evaluating her own advice.
It's become a regular event.
She says, yes, you have to think about the age appropriateness of what you speak. But she also says she believes now the gloves must come off.
We have to change the language. Just like with child molestation and sexual abuse, we went from, oh, your pee-pee, your bum-bum. Just like we changed the language for that, we're going to have to change the language to protect our children about school violence. Instead of saying stranger danger, we need to say that someone could come to your school and shoot.
She believes that while there are numerous ways to teach small children how to respond to danger, she thinks even the protocol must now be changed.
When we have drills for school safety, we need to make them more realistic. We need to have a discussion about how it would not be very, traumatic for children, but how it could be a more realistic situation so that they can respond.
The wrong thing to say might be that nothing bad ever happens. Everything is safe all the time, because that's not honest.
We also talked to Beaumont Hospital psychiatrist Dr. Nazia Adil, who says small children may be confused about what they're seeing on TV, that constant loop of news their parents are watching.
Some children can think that when they see things going on TV again and again repeating, they might think that it's happening again and again.
She says turn off the constant din of tragedy. Make sure your child understands the singular incident, and then discuss real ways, in real language, in real terms, your child can understand on ways to protect themselves if they are ever in trouble. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
It's sobering to think that that's where we are, but the reality of it sets in again and again. Yeah, no doubt. Now, in the wake of this awful incident, a lot of people have been asking about gun laws across the U.S. Here in Michigan, the rule's not as straightforward, perhaps, as you might think. We have posted a guide to Michigan's firearms laws on the news page of clickondetroit.com. Ahead at 6:30. NBC Nightly News will have continuing coverage of the shooting in Parkland, interviews with survivors, more about those who lost their lives, and also about the conversations now surrounding Congress about gun control.
Neighbors are on edge in Shelby Township over a series of home break-ins, and police believe the man in this video may be responsible. Take a look here. The most recent incident happened earlier this week when this video was recorded. Local 4's Larry Spruill talked to one homeowner whose son scared the man off.
The homeowner says he walked up her driveway and then walked inside this door into the garage, only to meet her son and her dog inside. She says obviously it was a scary situation.
It makes me extremely uncomfortable.
That somebody would just walk into her home while her family was there. Marcy Steichner tells me that's what happened in her Shelby Township neighborhood. She says her teenage son was in the kitchen when their dog started barking. That's when he knew somebody was outside.
Once he closed our inside door that leads into our hallway, he just took a couple of steps, closed the door behind him, and was literally standing there.
She tells me her son yelled at him to get out of the house.
And the man turned around and walked out of the house.
Police say minutes later he was recorded by a neighbor's security camera walking around. Steiner tells me she believes this guy may be involved in other similar situations.
He was sighted in the front yard of a house in Sterling Heights, Michigan, which is obviously not very far from our house. Also, within the past 2 weeks, a subdivision one over from us, somebody was at a front door trying to break in.
That's why she made a post on her Facebook page warning her neighbors.
I just want our community to be aware that this happened, and honestly just to pay more attention to people that are in your neighborhood.
And police are asking if you know who this guy is or witnessed him walking around this week to call police. Reporting in Shelby Township, Larry Spruill, Local 4.
An Oxford Township man faces charges of possessing and producing child pornography. 33-year-old Scott Lutz was investigated by police after they learned he was downloading sexually abusive material involving children. After taking digital evidence from the house, Lutz was charged, though it's not the first time. In 2011, he was convicted of rape and possessing pornography involving a minor. Lutz is on a lifetime sex offender registry and will now be charged as a habitual offender.
The young people who may someday lead the city of Pontiac stepped forward today with tough questions for the current leaders.
Everett Cassimy takes us inside a unique town hall aimed at solving an age-old problem.
After a violent start to the year here in the city of Pontiac, these students are fed up. Together, they're attending a town hall meeting with Mayor Deirdre Waterman on their own school grounds.
It's a lot of mergers and stuff going on like that, and we want to get everything straight with the mayor and the people she work with, the people that represent her, so they can help us represent our school and help us make the society better.
Crime was one of the biggest concerns these Pontiac Academy for Excellence students have about their school and city. Others were concerned about extracurricular activities or the lack thereof because of program cancellations.
My concerns, the sports. We got good sports. I think the people who play the sports are good. We just don't, I feel like not everybody got to play the sports they wanted to this year.
The entire high school was invited out to today's town hall in front of the mayor and her staff. And a select few group of students were invited on stage to ask the mayor specific questions about affecting change in their school and their city.
What we took from there was to offer them the challenge to have people who can come, our student representatives, to help us shape the policies. We talk about the youth programs that we're bringing to the city.
Just this conversation is not going to affect change. We have to actually talk about it more and be more persistent about it.
While change isn't expected to happen overnight, today's town hall was empowering. These students want their voices heard and believe this is the step in the right direction.
Solution, if we can get more patrol police officers out here to watch what's going on and supervise, then maybe if people will stop like the murder and the crime and stuff, maybe go down.
In Pontiac, Everett Cassimy, Local 4.
Well, she's probably right that the conversation itself is not going to affect change, but you're probably not going to have change without starting with a conversation.
And it's a great lesson for them on policy, politics, and getting involved, so that's great. Well, is this year's flu vaccine a dud?
New numbers show it's not quite as bad as doctors feared. There is some good news on how it's working for children. We'll have more on that in just a minute. Here comes Ben.
We are in short supply of that in the weather department as you see the fog just slinking around the city here. This is a look at the skyline. Temperature's still mild. We're in the 40s, but that is also leading to the problems we're seeing. We'll tell you what that's going to lead to for the weekend coming up.
Okay, Ben, and a bicyclist with a broken back would like to know who hit him and drove off. We'll show you the type of vehicle police are looking for next.
Jeopardy!
The search is on to locate a vehicle involved in a hit and run with a bicyclist in Westland. The accident happened on Super Bowl Sunday about 11:30 p.m. A bicyclist was traveling southbound on Newburgh Road when that bicyclist was struck by a vehicle from behind. The vehicle never stopped and continued heading southbound. The victim suffered significant injuries, including a broken back and leg. The vehicle is believed to be a 2008 black Lincoln MKZ. If you have any information, call police.
Good health tonight. This year's flu vaccine isn't quite as ineffective as doctors were starting to fear, though there is still a lot of room for improvement.
The CDC released preliminary data today on the vaccine's effectiveness. Our Karen Drew is here with the numbers and what those numbers mean. Karen?
Well, Devin and Kim, the CDC says the flu shot is working better than many initially thought, but that's little comfort to the thousands of people who have gotten sick in what's turning out to be one of the worst flu seasons in years. Just after Christmas, Krista Mitchell caught the flu and went downhill fast. The previously healthy Kentucky mom developed pneumonia and septic shock. Her husband said she had not been vaccinated.
If she would have got the flu shot, she might not have gotten as sick as she did.
Experts say the vaccine can lessen the severity of the flu. That's true even though it's not working well to prevent many flu cases this year. New data from the CDC puts the overall effectiveness of this year's vaccine at 36%. It's just 25% effective against this year's dominant flu strain, H3N2. Although that's far better than the 10% seen in Australia during their flu season, the flu lab at the University of Michigan School of Public Health is one of 5 centers that helped collect the latest data. On Capitol Hill Thursday, a group of senators called for a surge in vaccine research funding.
We're calling for a $200 million annual investment over the next 5 years at the National Institutes of Health to develop a universal flu vaccine.
Krista's sepsis meant her fingers on one hand had to be amputated, but with so many flu deaths across the country.
In the big picture, we're blessed.
She's still with us.
We're blessed that she's still with us.
Flu season generally lasts well into March. And one piece of good news, the vaccine appears to be more protective in young children. Experts say it's about 59% effective at preventing illness in those younger kids. Back to you.
All right, Karen.
Yeah. Well, a very gray day, a lot of melting, but exposing really that nasty color of snow.
I know. This is the part I don't like.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be one or the other. Either we get snow or it not.
Pretty grimy right now.
This is the same shade of gray that the Lions alternate jersey.
Oh.
Yes, there you go.
I think that's where I remember seeing it before.
A lot of people didn't like those.
And
Any
they
better
probably
now.
don't like this
That's
either.
right.
The other gray that we've got out there is the fog, and that is still going to be with us through tonight. Now, as of right now, the dense fog advisory only extends until 7 p.m., so less than an hour to go on that, and it's for areas south of 8 Mile. Currently, those visibilities are not only reduced, but they're dangerous in some spots. Some of these numbers have been getting close to zero, although they've come up just slightly. Just about everybody's a quarter-mile visibility south of 8 Mile. City Airport, a little bit more of an improvement there at 3 miles. The model showing us that we're really not expecting huge changes in these visibility numbers until a cold front comes through overnight. So by the time we get it to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the cold front will take care of the fog. We'll probably get some sunshine in here too, but those temperatures are going to be something else. As of right now, this is one of the clearer shots that we have gotten of downtown Detroit. We can actually see the ground from this vantage point a couple hundred feet in the air. 40 degrees the current temperature. It's raining at Metro, but those mild temperatures are going to last until we get closer to daybreak tomorrow. Then those numbers start decreasing. And even though we were mild, look at what was going on down to our south. Indy right now, 63 degrees. Columbus is at 64. St. Louis is at 72 right now. So we missed out on the real spring weather, but we'll have plenty of chances of that. What's the countdown, Kim? 32 days. She's right on it, but we will be going the other direction here in the short term. Colder air coming in. In fact, by Saturday morning, those will be our coldest temperatures as we're going to get back into some really chilly numbers to start out the weekend. So a lot of us are wondering, when can we go outside and play again? And this was definitely the mindset of this kitty here. This is April, and she was watching our newscast earlier. Very intense. I don't know what we were talking about, but she's really into it. Thank you for that storm pin shot. I don't know if she counts for the Nielsen ratings, but we'll take every viewer we can get. That's right. Showers outside tonight, and this is going to be in the evening hours, mostly in our south zone. Those will be gone by midnight. There's that front that's going to take care of the fog, and behind that, high pressure settles in for a mostly dry weekend, but this little disturbance on Saturday could be bringing us a snow shower. Not going to be anything as far as accumulation goes, and a lot of us not even going to see the flakes. So that's our only snow in the forecast as we head towards the end of February. These are the temperatures we're looking at 7 a.m. on Friday. Tomorrow's lows will actually probably be set about 9 or 10 in the morning, so these won't be the coldest conditions, but this is what a lot of us are going to walk out the door to. 27 in Detroit. South zone, not a whole lot warmer, 28. Down here in Lambertville, Luna Pier, 26 in Tecumseh and Milan. West zone temperatures, you're going to be in the mid-20s, even close to the low 20s as that cold front comes through first and has a little more of an impact there. And then our north zone, 22, will be our coldest spot up in Sanilac County. So all of that melting snow and the rain that we see today is all going to be frozen when we wake up tomorrow morning. And with only a high at 32, that stuff's going to stay frozen through the day on Friday. Futurecast taking us into the next 7 days will bring us all the way to 53 by Tuesday, but a lot of rain next week. So we got to start watching for potential flooding concerns.
Is that how your calendar works? It just
I keep it up here. 32 days, 17 hours, 55 minutes, and 36 seconds until spring. We got
to be precise.
That's right.
We want to know.
Bernie's coming up with sports. Stay with us.